I was watching a interview with Carl Jung, the great physician, the great psychiatrist of the 20th century. And the interviewer asked him, when you were young, did you believe in God? And Jung said, oh yes, we were taught about God, we were taken to church. And the interviewer asked him, do you still believe there's a God? He was a very old man during this interview. And Jung looked and he said, I don't believe, I know. Now, this is a vital distinction. You know, believing in God is nice, that's okay, but it's not going to give you the power that you need to become the person that you need to become. For that to happen, we have to connect with God. And that's how you will find, like Carl Jung said, I know there's a God. In Him I live and move and have my being. That is the place where we need to get to. That sounds maybe impossible to the uninitiated. Oh my God, that's like the great apostle said that. How in the world could I possibly attain such a elevated state of being? Well, you can. I'm just an old concrete guy, an old drunk that can honestly tell you today, in Him I live and move and have my being. How do you connect with God? I mean, what's the point of being a human being anyway? Why are we here? Why are we here on this planet? There's a lot of suffering and pain involved in life. What's the point? And there are people, a lot of people today, actually, that will tell you there is no point. We're just another animal, like a fucking goat or a pig or whatever, monkey. And there's no point to it at all. You don't have a soul. There's no afterlife. It doesn't mean anything. There's no purpose. And you just live and die and become worm food. And what a horrendously ugly lie to tell people. And, well, I'm sure they believe it. Some of them believe it themselves. That's a shame. There's not a shred of truth in that. And I know that. It's like Carl Jung, I know God. I know. The purpose of life is for us to grow, to learn and to grow. We're here, this is like the Paris Island of the universe, all right? We're here to be trained. We're here to learn truth and grow up in truth and apply truth in our life and become the people that God intended us to be, the people we really want to be, to acquire full stature spiritually. That's why we're here. And to the degree that you do that or fail to do that is what your life is going to count for. I heard a guy say one time, a very famous clergyman was addressing the commencement address at Harvard 100 years ago, back when Harvard was still a religious institution, and he said, no man can go to heaven. And they said you could hear an audible gasp in the audience, and he said, you will not misunderstand me. No man can go to heaven lest he take it with him. When you cross over to the next dimension, the next life, you're still going to be you. If you think that God's going to wave a magic wand and make you wonderful, you're mistaken. You take yourself, your soul, the condition of your soul with you onto the next plane for good or bad. And for most of us, it'll be a combination of good and bad. It's nothing to fear. But to begin this journey of growing up, of understanding what life really is, and begin to learn who we really are and who we are going to become, you have to connect with God. I was reading him at Fox this morning. He says this usually happens as a result. And that happens. Cut to the chaser. That happens through one thing only: surrender. You got to reach a point in your existence where you surrender. If you don't, you won't connect with God. What is it that separates us from God? It's our ego, self. I want, I like, I think, I need, I. Self-seeking motives, selfishness, self-promoting, self, I. That is what keeps us apart from God, because God is all around us, all the time. He's right here. He's closer than your next breath, but you don't realize that. I didn't realize that because I was so caught up in myself. That is the barrier between me and God. I want, I like, I need. I know what's best. I know what I'm going to do. And that had to be burned out of me. Now, Fox said, you can either get there through wisdom or pain. Guess which one I had? Pain drove me to my knees. Pain brought me to the point of, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Please help me. We have a sign on the wall. We have many signs on the wall, Maple Street. But one of them says, you'll find me when you search for me with all your heart. The connecting with God has to be the only thing that matters at a certain point in your life. If you're ever going to connect, that's where surrender comes out of. When I cried out to God in 1990, I'll do anything, please help me. I meant it from the core of my being. I meant it. He knew that, and he said, sure, son, I've been waiting for this. And he gave me the direction I needed to begin to get better. I was real sick. And we all are, whether you realize it or not. There's a saying I'm fond of. It says, well, you don't know how sick you are till you start to get better. Boy, that's the truth. As I began to experience a psychic change, a spiritual awakening, I realized, my God, I was so clueless. It's amazing I even made it that as far as I did. Amazing I survived at all. So the key to connecting with and by the way, it doesn't matter how you view God or if you even believe in God in the beginning. That's kind of an amazing thing, isn't it? It really doesn't matter. You can be totally agnostic. I don't think an atheist, I don't know if there is such a thing as a real atheist, somebody that absolutely firmly believes that there could not possibly be a God. They know it for sure. I mean, how do they know that? How would you possibly know that? But you can be agnostic, and it makes no difference. In fact, a lot of times it's easier to connect with God, having a completely, I don't know attitude. I don't know, but I'm willing to find out the truth. We become at some point seekers of the truth. I'm tired of playing games. I'm tired of being unhappy. I'm tired of failure. I'm tired of the pain I'm living in. If there's a God, I need your help. If there's a God, I need to know. You're going to get somewhere with that kind of attitude. That's good. That's good. And like I said, it doesn't matter how you picture God. If it's just a benign spirit in the universe, if it's whatever it is, as long as it's real and it's good. Love. God is love. Most of us, but if we're getting to the point of surrender through pain, we're not very connected with love. So we, at some point, we turn and we begin to see something bigger than ourselves. We acknowledge and see, and this is it's a matter of getting honest with ourselves. We see that of myself, I ain't making it. If there's something bigger than me, I need something bigger than me to help me, something larger than human power, bigger than human power, bigger than my own power to help me. And we cry out in our own way, in our own words, in our own time. And when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. You know, I was put in a group of people that knew how to live better than I did, knew how to connect to God, knew how to live with God. Maybe at a church, maybe in Alcoholics Anonymous, maybe many places in this day and age. There are a lot of people all around the world seeking the truth right now. I think myself, my own opinion for what it's worth, is I think humanity is on the verge of a great breakthrough in consciousness. We'll see. I hope so. But irregardless of what humanity's doing, you, I, me can break through and need to break through. The key, like I said, is surrender. The key is surrender. And these people taught me how to surrender. Again, the only thing that separates me from God is I want, I like, I need. So they taught me to pray. They taught me to pray correctly. I had been to church, I had been praying, but I prayed completely along the wrong lines. Ego prayer, you know. I want, I need, give me this, help me with this, I want to do this. Giving God direction from my ego, from my mind, from my selfish, self-seeking motives, and it doesn't work. It's like a 3-year-old asking their loving father if they can play with his gun. He's going to say, no, not good for you, you'll kill yourself. Most of what I was praying for when I prayed in, or any of us pray in self, is not good for us. Though sometimes he'll give it to us anyway, so we can figure that out. But that's the right way to pray. They began to tell me the right way to pray is to say, you know what? Again, honesty and the courage to be honest. I don't know what I need. I don't know what's best for myself. You run the show today. They taught me that life's only one day long. Very important concept, very important truth. Tomorrow never comes, it's always today. Today is what you're dealing with, so wake up. Today, you run the show. You run the show. I don't care what happens. And I was at that point. I don't care what happens. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. There's no point in worrying about it. I will let the day unfold. They said, just let the day unfold. All I'm asking for is show me the next indicated step. Show me what I'm supposed to do next. One step at a time. I don't want to be thinking about 4 o'clock at 10 o'clock in the morning. Just show me what I need to do right now and give me the courage, the strength to do it. And however it comes out, it comes out. That's your business, not mine. A total change in my approach to life, in my manner of living. I'm not running the show anymore. I don't care what happens today. It's not that I don't care, but I'm not afraid. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I'll deal with it. And you, as you begin to pray this way and you begin to live this surrendered life, you're astonished by the power and direction that comes into your soul, into your being. You know, and you change, you know. I needed to change. I was spiritually sick when I started this journey. I had a terrible soul sickness. And I needed to change, but I didn't know how to change, and I didn't have the power to change myself. But as I began to walk this way, a new power came into my life. It was astonishing. It's still astonishing to me today. And it's 35 years. I've been doing this for many, many years. At some point, they introduced me to a simple paragraph in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. In the back of the book, it says, "And acceptance is the answer to all, A-double-L, all, in italics, all my problems today." Acceptance is another word for surrender. It's the practical way we surrender. Acceptance. When I'm disturbed, it's because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact in my life unacceptable to me, and I can find no serenity. Serenity, peace, mind, comfortability. I can find none of that until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being the way it's supposed to be at this moment. Nothing happens in God's world by mistake. I asked him to take care of me this morning, and that's what he's doing. And it looks however it looks. And I don't, you learn very quickly when you really begin to live in acceptance that there's no big deals, you know. My crisis at 11 o'clock in the morning turns out to be just fine by noon, 1 o'clock. Or whatever little tribulations and turmoils I go through during the day, and they're only as big a deal as I want them to be. If I stay calm and practice acceptance, I flow right through the day. I just glide through the day. Let it, don't force it. Just let the day unfold. And whatever problems, so-called, that there were, or challenges, by the end of the day, I find out everything worked out beautiful. Again, I'm okay. Nobody stood me up against a wall and shot me today. Praise God. So, if you want to connect with God, you have to learn to surrender. And it's a practical, real, ongoing surrender for today, for this moment.